All right, so someone called in the middle of that video, so I got messed up. But we have two 7/8 boards. That's 14/8. 14/8 is 1 6/8, or 1 3/4. So we're 1 3/4 thick. So we don't want to use a screw that's going to be longer than that. So I'm going to use a 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch screw to hold these two pieces together. Okay. Screws, if you just look over here, are all located up here. They're all marked, their lengths are. You use 1 1/4. And the bit box that I have here is the one that we're going to have all the different screw heads in it. My advice to you, because we're going to be putting these back in, so these are not screws that we keep. When you're done with this, you take them back out, you put them back in the 1 1/4. But I have two different types of 1 1/4 screws. One head is a straight Phillips head. The other one is a Phillips head that also has a square head option. You're going to strip far fewer screws if you use the square heads. Put the gold ones back, use the green ones, and we're going to use a square head bit to put in there. One thing I also haven't shown you is this. The way these types of bits work, and this is not a drill, it's an impact driver, is if I put it in like this, and I go to screw something in, it's just going to fall out. So when you put it in there, you've got to pull forward on that sleeve so it drops into place, and then that'll lock the bit in there. Okay? The other thing that we want is to be able to pre-drill. When we're using a hardwood, we have to pre-drill so that we don't split the material. 1/8 bits are located on the side here. Grab one. Put it into the drill. So another thing is that many of you don't know how to use a drill. There's two gears on here. There's a 2 and a 1. So the 2 is for when we're drilling into wood. Drilling using a twist bit. The 1 is if we have in the head of this like a screwdriver head. 1 is a slower RPM with a little bit more torque to it. 2 is a higher RPM, which is for drilling. If we're drilling into metal, we use 1 also. We have a lower RPM with a little bit more leverage behind the drill. So anyways, since we're pre-drilling right now with a twist bit, we're going to be at number 2. There's also a clutch that comes on these drills. So if I am at 4 and I go to turn it on, you see that when I grab it, I can stop it? That's because sometimes we're working with drywall and we're trying to put screws in. We don't want the screw to go straight through the drywall. We want it to stop on the outside. So we'd find the appropriate clutch setting for that. Or sometimes we're using screws that are made out of a softer material, like a brass or sometimes even aluminum. And in that case, if we have it going in where it doesn't have a clutch on it, we're very likely to strip the head of that screw. So we put a clutch on for that as well. In this case, however, I want to be all the way to the end, past 17, to where we have an icon there for a drill bit. I'm on 2 and I'm there. I'm going to put 2 in here, and I'm going to pinch. I'm going to pinch these tight while I drill. Okay, if pinching it tight, you're not doing an adequate job for it, just grab some clamps. I'll take the ones off the drill press here, because they're closest to me, and I'll just clamp this top so it stays together. So there's that one. I'll go ahead and put a screw in there. And I'm doing it until that screw sits in, so we don't want it sitting out on the material here. Another pre-drill. Now I'm going to put 2 down here as well. So I'll leave it over top the edge of the table. and I'll drill through these two. It's okay if your bit goes through the two pieces, but you don't want to go through and into the tabletop here, because then you're going to be ruining the tabletop for future students. The other thing is, if you go through, you don't have to worry about chip out on the back side, because where we're drilling these screws is all waste area. It's all going to be gone. It's not part of our project. So now we have our pieces screwed together, all in waste areas there. Next week I'm going to show you what we're going to cut first. So this is where I want you to be in the coming week.